consequences, violence, and endless greed. What do these three things have in common? Quite a bit actually, but for today it pertains to Tophia Slidell. The consequences of her streaming, the violent acts which were committed by people close to her, recently brought to light and defended by Tophiachu heavily, and of course, greed. All of these factors have led Tophia to where she is today, living out of a homeless shelter, begging for the charity of others. But as always, Tophia doesn't see it that way. She thinks that she's doing better than ever, so well that she is setting an example for others.
The difference between me and you guys, I'm a leader, not a follower. So I don't do things because other people are doing it. The only reason why you're hating on me is because everyone else is. You don't have no backbone. You have nothing. You need to grow some guts. You let all of these people out here think for you. If you thought for yourself, imagine what the world would be. Imagine a great place.
Tophia's living situation may change, but her attitude never does. Her belief that hating her is just a common trend, and not the result of many of her own actions, has persisted for quite some time. But every year it gets more and more ironic, because of her ever-worsening situation, made only worse by the fact that she's been offered so much help and so much advice, which she completely disregards, sometimes even threatening or belittling the person who offered.
I said I went to the Michael Jackson movie. Why are you spending money instead of going to bury your brother? Like, someone literally in the comment section said, no care for ashes. You don't need to put words into my mouth. Maybe you should worry about your mom before she becomes ashes and ashes, dust to dust. Worry about your family, don't worry about mine. Your mom's about to become ashes and you're worried about my unalived sibling trying to put words into my mouth. Where does it look like I don't care? You don't know what it's like. I'm trying so hard to be a better person, and nobody cares. I'm trying not to get upset because I go to therapy to work on these things. Nobody knows what it's like to have pressures of being perfect and not messing up and not doing anything wrong and not having a place to live because I do everything I'm supposed to do. And yet, it's not good enough for anybody. And it should be good enough for me. And then I get down on myself. I have to overwork myself because I'm like, maybe I should do more in the gym till I'm passing out. Because I don't see any results. It's like words hurt people. And people do not get that. Because all they think of is themselves. All they care about is themselves. And no matter what I do, it's not good enough.
That last clip is a prime case of Tophiachu deflection. Why don't you go worry about your mom before she's ashes? That quote directly applies to Tophia. She's been buying new clothes, going to concerts, seeing movies, but has made no efforts to collect her brother's ashes or find housing for her or her mother. But she can't seem to understand that this is why people are critical of her purchases. If she worked and was in a healthy financial situation, people wouldn't care if she went to the Michael Jackson movie. But this is the same woman who opened a GoFundMe to pay for her brother's funerary expenses, and they ended up doing nothing for him. It cannot be understated the amount of support that Tophiachu had in the wake of the carjacking, and the way that she's squandered it is almost unbelievable, but also very on brand for Toph. She is far interested in other matters, mainly people who she has a crush on. Tophia has been very open with the fact that she has a crush on another woman, and I think that this crush has applied to two different people in the past. I previously got this wrong, so I want to clear it up, that Crush Chu and Stud Chu are two different people. Crush Chu, who we hear less about these days, seems to be an older woman, while Stud Chu is more around Tophia's age, and we'll hear a lot more about her later in the video. But Tophia has been very open with her affections towards both of them, and despite the fact that these affections were not returned, Tophia still seems to hang out with them, and one day she went live from one of their cars, openly talking about how she had someone that loved her, subtly flirting with her friend, while also complaining about trolls, and above all else, acting entitled.
Yes, I'm happy. You think I'm mad? Why would I be mad? I don't have anything to be upset over. For someone to love me, what is funny is that I do. And why are you concerned? First of all, if I wanted someone to love me, which I have people that love me, probably not like that, but I do have someone that loves me like that. And if I really wanted someone to love me, I would have already had someone to love me. I choose not to, because there is someone that loves me like that. So maybe I wouldn't be concerned with that. Maybe I would be concerned with myself. Why are you concerned with who loves me and who doesn't love me? Yikes. I just chose to be friends with that person, so I love the way you call me Big Papa.
Tophia has seen both of these women significantly more than she's seen Mama Chu, and that's become a pretty big source of criticism for her. Tophia's explanation is it's all for financial reasons. Half the time she can't afford to get there. But Tophia's wasting of money has been very well documented ever since she started up her GoFundMes, and it doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to figure out she's spending every penny she can get her hands on. Her financial situation made even worse by the fact that TikTok seems to have cut her off from creator payment, now resorting to plugging Temu products.
And TikTok still, hopefully I get paid this month, because the other part of my payment, they don't pay me. It says it's gonna go through, so hopefully we'll see. They've been taking my money. And then the monetization thing, because I got paid for my videos. Well, they said that they were like, you don't post quality content, so now I have to. Because I tried to reapply, I guess I appealed it and it didn't go through. They said your content isn't quality. I'm like, whatever, that's a lie. So now I have to reapply for the creator fund next month.
Tophia has been posting so little to TikTok, I'm not surprised she is not getting paid, blaming all of her problems on the chat, while also trying to get them to feel bad for her, even if it means throwing her so-called friends under the bus. Recently, Tophia has claimed to have been SA'd. She's made many claims of this in the past, and even explained some of them. One time she claimed that a guy driving by looking at her was guilty of it. Another time, she made a claim that someone reacting to her content was also guilty, so she has falsely alleged this multiple times. But this time, the alleged culprit was very different. It was none other than Crush Chu, a fact that we would not know until much later.
I didn't lie about SA, I was SA'd. Why would I lie about that? I don't need to come on the internet and lie about things. That's not gonna give me views, that's not gonna make me money. I haven't made money off of saying I was SA'd, nothing. So to say that is horrible. That's horrendous. I didn't lie on Jay, and I actually corrected myself. I lied on me, since we want to go there with Jay. Why do we always bring up Jay? I corrected myself, and actually Jay did literally paid someone to try to get news off of me. Are we gonna act like that's okay? Let's stop defending a man who literally tries to get off of someone. You know what that would have been if he would have shared? If I'm not stupid enough to send it, but if I had to actually send something like that, it would have been revenge porn. Do you know that? That is the law. Revenge porn. He could have got sued for that. He did. He admitted it. He was talking to the person that was trying to get news for me. It's a whole conversation he shared himself. He was talking to the person. The person told me he paid him, and he said you couldn't pay me enough to not share our conversations, which they shared the conversations. So what if someone was talking spicy? I don't even know what to say. It's not a lie, because he posted it himself on his own page. He admitted he was talking to the person, because he reached out to them and said, she's stupid, she thinks that I'm you. I'm not dumb, and I have other people that have seen. There's proof.
Tophia claims that another creator tried to solicit illicit pictures from her through a third party, which has been proven to be an outright lie, but she still spreads it to this day. So she hasn't even really corrected herself on that. She has made endless false allegations of this nature. Well, we've already established that Tophia's definition of SA is very different from everyone else's, but this time, she doesn't even paint herself as the victim. If her version of events is to be believed, she's the perpetrator, who has somehow convinced herself to be a victim.
I don't like to say Stud Chu, and I don't want to use her real name, so I don't know what letter to use other than S. So anyways, we are literally, so basically this is the whole situation, the whole thing. So as S is walking ahead of us, the other person puts their hand behind them for me to hold their hand. So it was like, due to some messages, I was a little confused, but then I was like, whatever the case may be. So anyways, we go up, we get to, she's showing her something else, and then we get to her apartment. After we leave, and I'm gonna tell you this, since people don't want to believe I was SA'd, then I'm gonna speak my truth, because I'm tired of staying silent. I'm tired of not having a voice. I'm tired of people saying I'm lying when I'm not. So anyways, we go to leave, and S goes to get into her car. The other person hugs her. So she gets in the car. She didn't see what happened. So then I go to hug that person. And yes, I did. Because then we were pulling away because it's giving me anxiety even talking about this. So then we were pulling away from hugging because we had to leave. Then I pull her back because, yes, I did want to hug her again, whatever the case may be. So as she pulls away from me, from hugging me, she grabbed my boob. And at that point, I was just so confused because of some previous messages. And I'm not even going to go into those messages. So, and then I didn't know how to react because I was like, for me, my reaction, because it happened so fast, was to crack a joke. So then when I got into the car, mind you, after that happened, I got into the car and I was so upset and confused and uncomfortable about the whole situation because I was just trying to process what happened due to some previous messages that I'm not going to talk about because it's personal stuff. So anyways, she grabbed me and then I laughed. Or no, I said, you know what you're doing. Ha ha ha. Then I get into the car. I'm all confused. I'm trying not to cry or make some sort of reaction for S to see because S would have literally been, S knows the whole situation. It's a whole situation. And I got into the car. I was processing it. I was trying not to be upset. I was trying not to cry because I didn't want S to see it and to be like, what happened? And I don't know if there was cameras there, but that place probably has cameras. It's caught on camera. What I was told, because I talked to somebody, it depends on, that may not even be seen as SA, even though it was a violation of my boundaries because, first of all, you didn't ask. You just grabbed. You assumed my body was yours to just grab because of, maybe there's a whole situation. Maybe someone said something. I can't even tell you everything because it's personal.
I don't think it's been confirmed that this was Crush Chu yet, but it's highly speculated. This comes hot on the heels of Crush Chu rejecting Tophia once again, so I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence either that after this happened, Tophiachu had even more problems with her homeless shelter. This shelter is run by a church, and they are fed up with Tophiachu not following their rules, but Tophia claims it's all to do with her being bi and ungodly in their eyes.
People was like, well, you said in the past, but maybe I wasn't comfortable sharing, and I now just found out, so I wasn't comfortable, but since I had already shared it, I guess I just had to say something. So I can't always keep talking about that. You gotta understand, in this state, this climate or whatever, is like, all I keep hearing is like, you're going to hell. It's not right. And I can't do anything about it. I could speak up on my page, but that's going to cause me to be under a bridge.
Tophia has been talking more and more about the shelter wanting her to post God-related content, something that she adamantly refuses. Personally, I think it may be one of their conditions of her doing social media while living there, and it seems like they've been asking for over a month with no success, ever heightening the tensions.
Not talking about God on my page has become an issue. I don't like to be controlled and be told what I need to do with my page. If I want to post about God, I will. It's just trying to control me, trying to control what I do, trying to pocket watch me was another thing. My journal, I can't even journal because, well, I could, but I have been journaling because that's for my therapy, but I'm worried someone's going to read it and then they're going to have an issue with it and criticize my journal.
It was around this time that things with the shelter really came to a head. Tophia was talking more and more about living out of a tent chew, and even claimed that the shelter was monitoring her social media, saying that if she wasn't careful about the things she said, she might soon be living on the streets.
Like, some things I don't want to talk about, and people mistake it as something else, and then here I am in the streets because they assume something. To be honest with you, they assumed that I had a relationship with a woman I didn't have, and I almost got kicked out for being bi, and that's why I can't really talk about it. And even me saying that might get me kicked out. But that's the real cold, hard, honest truth.
I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think they allow relationships in homeless shelters. If I'm not mistaken, Toph is living out of a women's shelter, so I could see how it would be a problem if she was using the shelter as a potential dating ground. Tophia always has a way of over-exaggerating events, at least to put her in a favorable light, so my belief is she tries to make this whole thing about persecution, and not about simply following the rules of the women's shelter. Tophia seems to seek conflict wherever she can. It doesn't matter if you're staff at the homeless shelter, or someone hundreds of miles away, she will seek out almost any opportunity for conflict. And one of these more recent conflicts happened with a fellow TikToker, a familiar face on this channel known as Candy Rooks. Candy has allegations very similar to Tophia's, being a predator, being extremely racist, and also extremely confrontational with people on social media. So it was only a matter of time before an unstoppable force met an unmovable object. But the spark that lit this powder keg off was pretty unexpected. Recently, some TikToks made with AI have gone extremely viral, and they star not only Tophia, but also Candy. These videos include recreations of movie scenes, or just short scenarios involving the two, usually confronting each other. Well, back in the real world, Candy was the first to hear about this, and she was furious. So she would post a TikTok absolutely flaming Tophia for just about everything under the sun.
You're too busy begging people for money. Why won't you worry about that shit and stop scamming on your followers? Because once they find out that you're scamming, and it's all over TikTok, Instagram, everywhere else, it's all over Instagram. She's a scammer. At least I used my money that I got off of my thing. She started to GoFundMe because she's scamming y'all. She's taking that money to going to buy food with it. You're so pretty, King. Thank you. She's taking that money to go and buy food with it. I bought my actual apartment. All the money that she got from y'all, she took that money and went and go buy food with it. Sister, bitch. Because the person that they supporting is a scammer. The person that they supporting is a murderer. Let's not talk about me, baby. Yes, positively all day long. But this Tophia bitch, keep my fucking name out of your fucking mouth. I didn't even know who you was until somebody let me know who you was. That's how irrelevant you really are to me. But you keep my name all up in your fucking mouth, bitch. Nobody wants your Mexican ass. You're the cause of your brother's death. So tell your followers about that. Your followers should be asking, well, Tophia, how come you didn't do nothing? Why did you go on Instagram instead of going to call the police for your brother? And Tophia, why are you not doing nothing about your uncle when he's sickly and you're not doing shit about him? He's your family. You should be helping your family out. Go focus on that shit. Tophia needs to keep my name out of her fucking mouth. That's all I've been begging for. Like, I don't know why Tophia got to keep my fucking name in her mouth with her Mexican dumb ass. Her fucking slow ass. I don't even know who this Mexican is. This Mexican got my name all up in her fucking mouth.
Well, Tophia wouldn't hear about all this until weeks later, and her response was much tamer than Candy's, but still exactly what you'd expect from Tophia Slidell.
I saw this, I heard this disgusting audio of her literally talking about what she was going to do to a 16-year-old girl. And she was having a conversation with a minor, and basically, I didn't know anything about the girl, except she got mad that I was talking about her, which I'm not. Someone lied to you. Then you tried to come for me, and you don't even like your own people, saying that the only person you would date is white women, which there's nothing wrong with that. Hello. but then said you wouldn't date a black woman. And then you were talking to a 16-year-old girl telling her what you were going to do to her. And it's just like, I was having a hard time. But I didn't do the same thing. I've never talked or sent voice messages back and forth to anyone like that. So let's not lie. Because you want to defend her.
Tophia's been getting criticism from a lot of people lately, not only Candy but also Nova Online, who both have predatory accusations against them. I'll never understand how they think going after someone else makes them look like less of a predator, but I also think they believe it's going to divert attention. It does the exact opposite. All these feuds between them do is further signal boost their terrible actions in the past. Candy seems a lot more invested in this feud than Tophia. I think it could be the fact that so many people are criticizing Tophia, but I also think that her priorities right now are way different.
It's a lot. I'm hurting. My heart is empty. My hole is empty. But it's like...
Well, now that Crush Chu is out of the picture, it seems like the one to fill the hole, in her heart of course, is Stud Chu, who has seemed to make somewhat of a comeback in Tophia's personal life. But Tophia claims that it's social media who's making it weird for her and Stud Chu, when we have endless footage of Tophia openly flirting around her. But still, many people believed that the SA incident occurred with Stud Chu, eventually leading Tophia to set the record straight, at least as far as she's concerned, because she also tells a ton of lies.
There is a situation that is not a good situation. It's not a safe one. So obviously, I'm not saying I had a relationship, but if there was anything to tell you guys, I wouldn't tell you because it's not safe. Use your common sense. So why am I going to come online and tell you? If you only knew the situation and what just recently happened, it's so messed up. Oh God, I can't even process. Actually, it's more than one situation. It's two things that happened at once. And it's trying to process that. For safety reasons, I cannot say anything. Well, I could, but I choose not to because I'm choosing to be the bigger person and not bring stuff to the internet. No, but sometimes, well, not anymore, but if I get pushed to the brink, then that's when I'll start talking. But I'm not bringing it to the internet because, like I said, I'm being the bigger person. I already left it at, I'm not escalating things. I'm not going to talk about this person. I'm not going to say anything that happened. Nothing. Because I'm just going to be the bigger person and walk away. Someone needs to turn your self-service off, girl. Goodbye. Go somewhere with your one eyebrow. Like, seriously. Who do you think you are, The Rock? To force me to be religious? First of all, it's my page. I can post whatever I want.
She did in fact not leave this situation off of the internet, so people had a million questions and theories about what happened. What's for sure is that by the sound of Toph's story, she was the perpetrator of any kind of wrongdoing in that physical interaction. It seemed like she was hugging somebody a bit aggressively, and when they pushed away was when Tophia alleged that she was assaulted. I can only assume this other person, likely Crush Chu, felt uncomfortable with the hug, and this led to Tophia concocting some sort of crazy story in her mind that she was the victim. What's even crazier is there have been even more egregious accusations made by Toph with little evidence, so what I'm trying to say here is she is an extremely unreliable narrator. One minute she's going on about how horrible that situation was, and then the next she's crying about how she keeps getting led on.
Yes, I've had people in the past, but it's never been the way that this was. You know what I mean? Like, it hurts because I'm tired of being led on by people, especially online. Like, I've had people literally make it seem like they were in love with me, like they're interested, like all these feelings, and then just eat. And people make jokes about that. That's not funny. Like I said, I'm a hopeless romantic and I can't help that. And it sucks because it's just like, I keep getting hurt. You wouldn't understand what that's like. Like, oh, you found someone who wasn't going to do that. You believed it. And then to make me feel like I'm wrong because of how I felt. Okay. Does not diminish the fact of what happened to me. Again,
Someone who I think Tophia is referring to is none other than Stud Chu, even gaining her name because of Tophia's romantic interests. But I don't think those romantic interests have gone anywhere. Stud Chu just isn't interested, and I'm sure it's for a million different reasons, but one of them has to be their legal troubles. Long ago, it was documented that Stud Chu was walking around with an ankle monitor, so people started digging and found out that it was for some pretty serious stuff. And that's when the Chu Crew Discord commissioned the police body cam footage of said crime allegedly perpetrated by Stud Chu. And the body cam footage is extremely graphic, so I'm just going to give you a fair warning. I'll show what I can show here on YouTube, but I'll narrate the parts that I have to blur. And another thing before we start is that I'm showing you this because Tophia is going to defend Stud Chu's actions tooth and nail, so I want you to see the body cam before you hear Tophia's opinions on the situation. Here's the reason why Stud Chu wears that ankle monitor. So for about the first minute of the body cam footage, it's just the police responding and assembling. Spoilers, there's been a stabbing, so they're approaching the scene with guns drawn. And after about 30 seconds of snaking through the complex, they arrive at the scene of the crime, making contact with the alleged victim's significant other at the door, who immediately starts begging the officers for help.
Albuquerque Police Department.
Please, come in, please, 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 please.
Hold on.
Please don't move me.
Yeah, I'm not
Please
in
don't
touch
move
you.
me. I need an ambulance like
I'm on their
bad.
way right now, dude.
If I fucking move,
I know, they're on their way.
It's
Alright.
her! Yes!
I'll fucking kill him. Oh.
Please, I'd like to cut out.
There is blood everywhere, even outside the room, but the body cam doesn't stay there long, going outside and eventually making contact with Stud Chu, who's sitting on a curb smoking a cigarette.
Show us your hands.
Where's the knife? Drop the knife. Lighter. Are you T?
Go ahead, stand up for us.
Should we have one detained? Hey, Mario, go ahead and clear that apartment. Make sure no one else has heard or entered inside there.
Okay. Let's get rid of this.
Yeah, and there's blood on their hands as well. Yeah, there's blood all over her clothes.
Yeah, they're probably going to have to go to the hospital.
The only other thing I can think of note is that Stud Chu hardly says anything during the arrest, sign of a clear seasoned vet. Now, I don't know exactly what the circumstances behind this crime or alleged crime were, but I can tell you, one guy looked significantly worse than the other. Stud Chu didn't seem to have a scratch on her. Meanwhile, that guy's worried about bleeding out. From what I could gather, he was stabbed in the head. I mean, innocent until proven guilty, but it's not looking good for Stud Chu. But despite all of this, Tophia defends her, even shaming the people who paid for this footage to be public. Footage that I highly doubt she's seen.
They literally paid for body cam footage. They didn't need to pay for the body cam footage. They paid for it because they posted it in the Discord, and it does not matter. Her lawyer is not going to give a F. You messed up. You're going to get in trouble. You think you're going to get some interview with her that she's going to tell you something. I haven't done anything to that girl. She isn't going to talk badly about me. First of all, she even said that people twisted her words online. I said, that's why I told you not to respond. Y'all tried to take what she said and tried to twist it. Oh, she offered you a right to go see your mom, and you chose not to. She told me that she could take me. Then she said that she couldn't because of her ankle monitor. It was right outside of Albuquerque. Then she realized she couldn't take me. She said she couldn't take me. Fine. And I'm not mad at that. It's just that people don't need to be up in the business. I didn't say anything. She went online and said stuff. And then people tried to twist it. That was not the case. You don't even know what was going on. Some people don't have the freedom to just get up and go places. It's just crazy, and you want to make assumptions that are not true. I wouldn't be friends with someone that tried to harm somebody. You're literally talking about a black person that is defending themselves, that is being called a danger to people for defending themselves.
Tophia seems almost allergic to what's good for her. As the victim of a violent crime herself, people like Stud Chu are probably some of the last she should associate with. But any sensible person would have gone and got a job by now, leaving all of this behind. Tophia's philosophy is completely different. She has started to view these shelters as her own personal hotels, ones that are free and that she can fill with her own items. So instead of saving money to move her and Mama Chu out of the homeless shelter, recently Tophia spent it on a Nintendo Switch and a new TV, along with the usual endless parade of new nails and clothes. My theory is that Tophia actually enjoys her life at the shelter. It's the most social interaction that she has had possibly ever, and her new hunting ground when it comes to prospective partners. I don't see Tophia going anywhere until they kick her out, and then she'll just move to another one. If you need any further example of her priorities, look no further than the clip I'm about to show you, where she explains how she has a new crush at the shelter, while also admitting that she's been eavesdropping on this crush, claiming it was by accident.
I can't help it. I was sitting right there and I heard the conversation, and then I got upset. I don't know if I want to see what I got upset. I was sitting right there. I was not trying to listen, but I did want to know what was going on because the person was not doing good. So if you're having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but it ain't one. I'm just kidding. Well, what happened was it's because I don't want to say it. I don't know. I'm not ordering food. I just ate Raisin Kings. I'm not gonna order food. Well, people think I was being nosy. It was not because I was being nosy. The thing was because I found that person attractive, right? That's what I said it there. So, anyways, I had noticed that it was a distancing thing and they weren't talking to people. So I was like, oh, I wonder if they're okay. That's the whole reasoning. And when I was sitting there, I was trying not to overhear the conversation, but I overheard the conversation. Now, it was like I was trying to listen, and I was just like right there. Of course, they were over 18. Hello, but they have a girlfriend, so. Well, I know they like girls, but they got a girlfriend, so. Well, that sucks. And I was not trying to date somebody. I just thought they were attractive looking. That's all.
I don't think casual dating is really smiled upon in homeless shelters. It's more of a place to get your act together and move along. But Tophia's treating it like summer camp. She's been going to concerts, buying whatever she wants, and pursuing numerous romantic interests. And the thing that she hates being told the most is what she should be doing. Working as hard as she can to get her and her mother out of the shelter. The reality is, Tophiachu has options, but she doesn't want to pursue them. She's extremely entitled, and I don't really ever see that changing. From the time I started documenting Tophiachu, it's been a constant downhill slope. Year after year, things have gone from bad to worse. But right now I feel she is at a serious tipping point, and sadly, I already think I know which direction this is gonna take. Papa Chu's in jail, Mama Chu's alone, and Tophiachu is worse than ever. We can only hope that Hershey Chu is living it up in Cuba.